Hello everybody, I'm Nightcat. Welcome to the Yawhg. What is the Yawhg? It is a choose-your-own-adventure story to some extent. It also has procedurally generated paths that you can take with your characters for the stories that you do with them, and in that respect it has quite a bit of replayability. It's also pretty quick. Like each playthrough takes, up to about half an hour depending on how many characters you bring into it. So, let's do this. I'm playing with an Xbox controller, by the way. That seems to be the better way to kind of manage this. So press a direction on the controller or keyboard to select a character. One device may control up multiple characters. So we need to choose at least 2 characters. So we'll go with, I guess, her and, how about him? Let's try that. The Yawhg will be here in 6 weeks, and no one expects it. Not a one of us. We just keep on living our lives, week by week, unaware. So the Yawhg is a monster that is going to come and destroy the city in 6 weeks, which is basically 6 turns. Each week takes about each turn takes about a week. So we are currently controlling the girl. I believe that's a girl. And what do we want to do with her? Let's take her to the forest. Why not? Do we want to chop wood or hunt? Let's hunt. You spend the week hunting defenseless critters. Okay. You gain 2 finesse and sell the pelts for 1 wealth. Okay, we got our stats up in the corner there. Physique 5, finesse 7, mind 5, charm 5, magic 5, wealth 1. Okay. One day you come across a group of people in the woods. From the expressions on their faces, they appear to be lost. Rob them or help them. Let's help them. You confront the group and try to help them find their way back to town. You can't seem to figure out where you are, and lead the group around in circles for hours. One of them asks you how you managed to find your way home at night. You don't actually know. Alright. So now our second character, this dude, got a big smile on his face. Let's take him to the tavern. Yeah. Bartender drink. Let's get drunk. You spend the entire week getting wasted. You gain 2 charm and 1 physique. Really? You gain physique from getting drunk? That's not what I remember from my time in college. One day a bard pulls out his lute in the bar and starts playing a tune. Unfortunately, his singing is horrible and is ruining the tavern's atmosphere. You decide to do something about it. Oh, challenge him to a lute duel. You borrow the bar owner's lute and challenge the bard to a musical duel. You only just started playing the lute when you realize that you're even worse than the bard. The bard easily outplays you and motions for you to lay down your lute. You can tell there are a couple people snickering at you right now. Embarrassing. You lose 1 charm. Aw. They say the last time it came, the Yawhg devoured houses whole, stole lives, tore families and family members apart. But that was so very long ago. Week 2 begins. We could do something else with the girl this time. We could go to the tavern again, or we could go to the alchemy tower, the arena. We could go back to the forest, we could go to the slums. Kind of want to go in the forest again. Or we could go to the arena. Let's go to the arena. Compete in fight or bet on fight? Let's compete. We got some hunting skills now, maybe we can take somebody out. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. One night on your way home, you spot a rusty dagger on the ground. Pick it up. As you pick it up, you hear a voice from behind you whisper, "You're not worthy." The dagger begins to dissolve into a black smoke. Within seconds, the blade is gone. Aw. Alright. So he was at the tavern last week. Let's go to the tavern again. Let's get drunk again. You spend the entire week getting wasted. You gain 2 charm and 1 physique. One day an impromptu drinking contest is held. Yeah, we'll enter the drinking contest. You down pint after pint, drinking as if your life depended on it. You end up blacking out. When you come to, you find yourself in a home you don't recognize in only your underwear. Your clothes are nowhere to be found, and you seem to be the only one home. What happened? So that was it. That was the entire event. We got blackout drunk and then naked in somebody's house. It was on us in a heartbeat, or so the stories go. The earth shook. The air went still. Week 3 begins. Let's take her back to the arena. And let's compete again. You spend the entire week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. One day, in between matches, you stumble upon one of the higher-ranked fighters ingesting illegal strength potions. Please, miss, don't report me, she cries. I'll even share some of my potion with you if you keep quiet. Strength potion... Basically, do you want dope or do we want not dope? Let's dope. Thank you so much for not reporting me, she says while handing you her flask. You take a small swig of her potion and can feel your muscles expand significantly. You gain 2 physique. Or we could have just went and got drunk, I guess. Let's go back to the tavern. I'd like to see what where that kind of goes. We'll drink again. Spend the entire week getting wasted. Gain 2 charm and 1 physique. We're gonna be very charming. The very first day of the week, when you walk through the tavern doors, everyone cheers. Apparently during your last drunken outing, you were a party animal while you were blacked out. Legend spreads of your party-hard spirit. You gain 2 charm. And then the world was a howling fury. Chaos, screaming, the sound of all we knew being pulled in half. This Yawhg is getting ominous. Okay, we spent some time at the arena. Let's take her over to the palace and see what happens there. Do admit... Oh, let's attend a ball. Absolutely. You spend the entire week attending fancy gatherings. You gain 2 charm and 1 finesse. One day you accidentally bump into a duke. Watch where you're going, filthy peasant. He shoves you out of the way with his hand and continues walking. Passive-aggressive or active? So, do we want to fight him or insult him, basically? I'm thinking. We got 11 physique, 10 finesse. We're not particularly smart with a 5 mind. Active-aggressive seems proper response. You shove him back. He falls to the ground and scrapes his knee. Nice one. You gain... What? Oh, 1 physique. Didn't entirely fill it out there. So we've been to the tavern twice. Let's keep getting them drunk. Let's go, let's bartend this time. You spend a week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day a fortune teller sets up at one of the tavern's tables. She offers to read anybody's fortune for a small sum. Yeah, we'll do that. You spend 1 wealth. The fortune teller takes your head and begins showering you with promises of love and wealth. She doesn't really go into any detail, and the whole time you can't help but feel that this is all an act. Underwhelmed and slightly poorer, you can't help but feel you've wasted your money. That night, while walking home, the fortune teller runs up to you and gives you a kiss on the cheek. There's the love part, she says with a toothless smile. Then she hands you a giant sack of gold. There's the wealth, she says. You gain 2 wealth. Still think I'm a hack? You know, is a fortune teller's fortune really predicting the future when she goes out of her way to make it happen afterwards? When it arrives this time, how will we fare? Will we once more rebuild, move on, be strong? Or have we forgotten? Okay, we went to the palace last week and we pushed over a duke. We didn't have a whole lot of success in the arena and our hunting was pretty poor. But we have good physique now, kind of. It's week 5, we have basically 2 more turns. Let's go back to the arena. And we will compete in a fight. You spend the week fighting brutes in the arena. You gain 2 physique and 1 finesse. During a match, another warrior's weapon is knocked from their grasp. You barely manage to avoid it. With a sickening crunch, it destroys the knee of a nearby bystander. He accuses you of causing him harm by not stopping the flying weapon. He takes you to court. Defend ourselves. You object, but you can't seem to convince the judge. He rules in the plaintiff's favor and orders you to perform community service. You gain 1 physique and 1 finesse. Actually, that's not a bad outcome. Unfortunately, the boring tasks take a toll on your mentally. You lose 1 mind. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, we've been drinking all week. Seems to be working out for us. We will bartend this week. You spend the entire week serving drinks at the tavern. You earn 1 wealth and tips and gain 2 charm. One day while in the tavern, a heated argument erupts between 2 patrons. Soon enough, fists are flying and everybody seems to be joining in on the violence. Well, if everybody's doing it, you know, you don't want to be left out. You jump into the thick of the fight and let loose some pent-up rage on some unsuspecting patrons. You gain 1 physique from all that exertion. Oh, alright, fair enough. The Yawhg. It's almost here. Almost. We'll go to the arena once more. Compete in the fight. Spend the week fighting brutes. Gain 2 physique, finesse. While wandering around the halls between matches, you spot your former lover, Kelly. An awkward exchange happens in which you want to know how they're doing without seeming to care too much. After a few minutes, John, one of the most popular fighters in the arena, butts into the conversation. Hey Kelly, sorry to interrupt, but we've got to leave right away if we want to make it to your mother's in time. You say an awkward goodbye as they walk off holding hands. How do you feel? Extreme jealousy. No, we feel happy. It's nice that you found somebody. You feel it's good that both of you have moved on. This encounter, despite its awkwardness, was refreshing. You gain 1 charm. Yeah, we're gonna keep drinking, I think. Let's actually drink this week. You spend the entire week getting wasted. You gain 2 charm and 1 physique. One day, the tavern throws its annual dart tournament. Oh, this would probably be better if we had finesse. But we're gonna do it anyway. You sign up for the dart tournament, ready to prove your dart-throwing prowess. You play the worst game of darts anybody's ever seen. You manage to break several glasses and narrowly miss someone's head. You come dead last. Somebody there wrote a song of how poorly you did, and it's quickly become the most popular tune in town. You lose 1 charm. Really? Come on, if you handled that with grace. The storm arrives in the night. By the morning, it still rages. For 3 full days, the tempest puts us through a grinder, drowns us, crushes us, ruins us. But then it ends. We see the graveyard our home has become. Our home. Does anything yet live? Is it? Are we past saving? Choose the role of the woman in the destroyed town. Well, she spent a lot of time fighting, but she wasn't much of a leader. She has 17 physique and 3 finesse, very low mind, mediocre charm, somewhat low magic, and not a lot of wealth. Perhaps the smelter, maybe. You volunteer to smelt your now useless coins into building materials. You have next to nothing to melt down. Everybody else keeps expecting to receive metal, but you're completely unable to provide any useful amount of it. Your efforts actually hinder the survival effort. Ooh, that's not good. So this guy's been drunk the whole time, but he's got great charm, kind of low other stats. Maybe the leader? You take it upon yourself to be the leader of the survivors. You're so incredibly charming, everyone readily lets you guide them. You're not the brightest, however, and you aren't terribly efficient with organizing everyone. Still, having a charismatic leader helps the rebuilding effort a lot. Oh, alright, so we actually managed to do something there. And so we set about our tasks, once more living our lives, this time in a way we might never have expected or even wanted. But in the end, we were defeated. Those of us left struggled to put our home to rights, but the effort was futile. Doomed. The city bled survivors, eventually becoming a husk, a dead thing. And perhaps the Yawhg was only partly to blame. The town in shambles, you're too afraid to go anywhere else. One day, somebody offers you strength potions in exchange for your services as a bodyguard. You happily oblige. After a few strength potions, you become strangely dependent on them, craving them constantly. They take a huge toll on your body, and your health deteriorates quickly. On the outside, you look like a hulking beast, but your insides are rotted and limp. One day, you have too many potions. Your corpse is found face down, in a puddle of vomit and foam. Tough luck for her. The Yawhg traumatized you deeply. Despite everything starting to be okay, something in you snapped. Maybe it was witnessing a baby floating face down in the water. Maybe it's when you found a man skewered on a fence, still squirming slightly, his eyes an empty void. Perhaps it's when you saw a group of kids that were trapped in the school had resorted to eating their rotting teacher's corpse. Whatever it was, you can't help but drink. You drink so much you're not entirely sure what is real and what's an illusion. One day you look into a mirror and your eyes are empty. Hollow. Wow. So that was the Yawhg. I might do some more videos of this, because this is a fun game to see what kind of story you end up with. This one was pretty tragic and horrific. But once again, thank you for watching, and like I said, every time you play through this game, it's entirely a different experience. So, once again, I'm Nika, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Take care.